Greetings. How pleasant it is for us to be gathered together in unity. I am Dr. Claire Nelson, founding chair and convener of the Caribbean American Heritage Month movement, and some say Caribbean American History Month movement. And indeed, there is such a thing as Caribbean history and herstory. Marcus Garvey said, it is a people without a knowledge of their history is like... When you come from Washington tomorrow? It is also said that people who fail to learn from their history are likely to repeat the mistakes of the past. As we celebrate National Caribbean American Heritage Month, in recognition of Caribbean contributions to American history, life, and culture, we're mindful of all those who have gone before us. Indeed, the socioscape of today reveals a potential for breakdown and an increasing lack of trust in our democracy and its processes. In my work, I ask Caribbean Americans to imagine the American future of their dreams. I want Caribbean American Heritage Month to awaken Caribbean people to the understanding that theirs is a powerful history of Caribbean contributions to this great nation. I want to help all America to understand that the rich diversity of the American experience involves all those who come to the shores as immigrants and their children and their children's children. Caribbean American Heritage Month is not just about reading nice stories about Shirley Chisholm and Colin Powell and Alexander Hamilton, so we might all have what I call Mac history moments in a quick and drive-through minute. No, Caribbean American Heritage Month is a time for educating and re-educating ourselves about the principles of nationhood. And so, today, 19 years after the national campaign began, when Congresswoman Barbara Lee took leadership on Capitol Hill, tabling a bill in 2004, February, to recognize June as National Caribbean American Heritage Month, we began this journey to official recognition of our contributions, of recognition of the fact that Caribbean people have been coming here for a very long time, since the time when Bridgetown, Barbados, and Charlestown, South Carolina, traded in human cargo, since the time when Alexander Hamilton arrived to become founding father and first secretary of the Treasury, since the time when hundreds came to form the Harlem Renaissance movement at the turn of the 20th century. And all through that time till now, Caribbean people have come and been on the forefront of changing America for the better. We have been vanguards of purpose, perseverance, and passion. One of the purposes of the pursuit of Caribbean American Heritage Month is to give visibility to our invisibility as a community and to ensure that as a community, our collective goal advances the interests that we of Caribbean Americans have in shaping a sustainable future for America and indeed the entire human family. For the Caribbean, which is also termed as America's third border, is home to over 20 million people, and our history is inextricably linked. That is why it's no surprise that the Black National Anthem was written by a Caribbean American, James Weldon Johnson, and that the first Black newspaper was founded by a Jamaican former slave whose father freed him and brought him to America. He's none other than newspaper pioneer John Russwurm, the first Black graduate of Bowdoin College. Caribbean American Heritage Month exists to give us voice. Yes, a democracy is only as good as its voters. Note, I did not say leaders. For it's important we recognize as citizens and residents, we play a part in shaping the most successful experiment in human history in democracy, this American democracy. It is a living and breathing system, forever changing as new challenges come upon us and new challenges are overcome. And this is why we're proud that Caribbean immigrants, lockstep with African Americans whose foreparents were slaves in this country, to lead various movements, including the Student National Movement in the Civil Rights, when Stokely Carmichael, a student immigrant, became a leader in SNCC, and Malcolm X, whose Grenadian mother helped teaching the meaning of self-reliance, became active to promote civil rights in this country. And finally, agency. Yes, Caribbean American Heritage Month is about giving us agency, so we understand that this democracy is ours to shape. We are planting seeds into this new ground, the American democracy, ever-changing. And it's not just to be counted. It is ensured that we have the power to determine what are the rules for counting. It is my belief that we have a responsibility to be a conscious part of shaping an American destiny. And so we learn agency from people like Shirley Chisholm, born of Barbadian parents who remain unbossed and unbought, and paved the way for Kamala Harris to now be sitting in the seat as the first Black female vice president. And we learn agency from others like Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, and all those who paved the way for the rights that we now enjoy. And the names are many. We cannot name all. Suffice it to say, we understand that together we can build a new community in this fertile ground of the American democracy. Together, we can sow the seeds that will bring forth a brighter and better tomorrow for ourselves and our children's children. Yes, we understand that America is a nation of immigrants, and that each and all of us bring our cultures to these shores and provide the weft and the warp of the tapestry that is American society. America would not be the same without us, for we too sing America, whether in reggae or zouk or merengue or reggaeton or soca. Caribbean American Heritage Month allows all of us, Caribbean Americans, and indeed all America, to celebrate our contributions, the contributions of millions of everyday American heroes and cheerers that call themselves nurses, teachers, trade unionists, farm workers, soldiers, restaurant workers, financiers, professors. Yes, if America is a melting point, let it be said that the music and art and dance and culture of the Caribbean give it zip and zaptic, vim and vigor, sugar and spice. Yes, this is why we celebrate together June as National Caribbean American Heritage Month. So let us celebrate June, knowing that we share one history, one destiny. This is one America, one love. Thank you all for coming. We welcome you officially this month, Caribbean American Heritage Month. And so, without further ado, I would like to share with you what we are calling our official flag raising event. Sorry, flag raising parade.
From many distant lands, our forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound in chains. Through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain, by test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high, sing up your Caribbean pride. Celebrate in song as we rise
This is our flag, the Caribbean American Heritage flag. A flag one of our flags. We have two flags, which has the waves that represent various elements of our coming, 4 waves of coming to this country. And now we will hear from the Catherine Beamer, who will introduce our keynote speaker.
Good afternoon, Caribbean friends. It's a great delight to be with you all today. Thank you, Dr. Nelson, for inviting the State Department again to participate in this joyous occasion. It is my great honor to today introduce Ms. Barbara Feinstein, our Deputy Assistant Secretary for Caribbean Affairs in Haiti. She's a career member of the Senior Executive Service and had a very long and distinguished career at USAID before joining us at the State Department in her current appointment in March of 2022. At USAID, she worked on legislative affairs and most recently as the Deputy Assistant Administrator for the Caribbean, Haiti, Cuba, Mexico, and Central America. She also served as professional staff on the Hill and the House Appropriations Subcommittee on State and Foreign Ops and the House International Relations Committee. She holds 2 degrees, one in Latin American Studies, Spanish and Portuguese from the University of California at Berkeley, and a master's degree in International and Public Affairs from Princeton University. She speaks Spanish and Portuguese, and she is also the proud mother of 2 daughters. Ms. Feinstein has been an integral part in the Biden-Harris administration's extremely historic and robust diplomatic engagement with the Caribbean. She's been a champion of the U.S.-Caribbean Partnership to Address the Climate Crisis, which we call PAC 2030. And she's been involved on a daily basis in negotiating all of the elements of our U.S. approach towards Haiti. So without further ado, it's my great honor to introduce Barbara Feinstein to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Catherine and Dr. Nelson. Let me just say it is always such a pleasure to be with you, so inspiring. And I feel like every time I hear you speak, I learn something new. So thank you for those wonderful and inspiring words. I also want to be among the first to welcome you back from Antigua, where I understand you, on behalf of the Institute of Caribbean Studies and your team, made, as per usual, a tremendous impact, particularly in engaging youth and helping us all to visualize and prepare and advocate for a better future for our fellow citizens in the Caribbean and worldwide. Let me also recognize and acknowledge the presence of Ambassador Samuel Hines, who is with us on behalf of Guyana, and also just recognize the incredible leadership that Guyana continues to play as the current chair of the Caribbean Community, or CARICOM. I just want to say how delighted I am to join you all to celebrate Caribbean American Heritage Month and recognize the vibrant traditions, multicultural heritage, and rich history of the Caribbean American community. As you all know, the United States and the Caribbean benefit from our enduring ties. There are more than 4 million Caribbean Americans living in the United States, including diaspora communities thriving from coast to coast in cities like New York, Miami, my hometown of Los Angeles, Houston, and many more that I'm sure I will get in trouble for not naming on this Zoom. But I know that there are many Caribbean Americans watching from across the country who trace their roots, of course, back to the beautiful Caribbean. As Dr. Nelson mentioned, there are so many prominent figures in the United States who have played and continue to play historic and incredible roles and are making their mark on the global stage on behalf of the United States. Just to name a few, as Dr. Nelson mentioned, of course, our Vice President Kamala Harris, current Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, our Assistant Secretary of State for the Western Hemisphere, Brian Nichols, who I know was the keynote speaker last year, my boss, who is of Bayesian heritage. Of course, former Secretary of State Colin Powell, former Secretary of State Susan Rice. I could go on and on. The United States views Caribbean nations as vital partners, friends, and neighbors. We share an unshakable commitment to democracy and the rule of law, something that we do not take for granted, especially in this day and age. And we are allies on a broad range of issues, including security, migration, climate change, finance, food security, and energy. Indeed, as Catherine mentioned, seldom have we seen such high-level interest and engagement with the Caribbean as we've seen in the last few years, whether it be Vice President Harris's hosting of Caribbean heads of state at the White House, President Biden's historic engagement with leaders at the Summit of the Americas, or high-level visits to the region from the Vice President to Secretary of State Antony Blinken, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Linda Thomas-Greenfield, USAID Administrator Samantha Power, or just last week with the visit of our Interior Secretary Deb Haaland and a large delegation to Antigua for the SIDS conference. In short, the Caribbean matters to us. The United States and the Caribbean enjoy strong, mutually beneficial commercial ties. We are proud to be the region's primary trading partner. Each year, millions of Americans travel to the Caribbean as tourists to enjoy the region's natural beauty and rich cultural heritage, contributing to Caribbean economies. As I just mentioned, this week, U.S. Secretary of the Interior Deb Haaland led a very significant U.S. delegation to Antigua and Barbuda for the 4th International Conference on Small Island Developing States, or SIDS, under the theme of charting the course towards resilient prosperity. The United States participated in the SIDS conference with the aim of helping small island developing states, including our Caribbean partners, address development challenges and accelerate sustainable development. Of course, principal among those challenges is addressing the urgent threat posed by the climate crisis. In June of 2022, Vice President Harris launched the U.S. Caribbean Partnership to Address the Climate Crisis, or PAC 2030. And through this initiative, the United States and our Caribbean partners are working to advance climate adaptation, climate resilience, and clean energy cooperation. We're working to facilitate renewable energy infrastructure development and bolster the region's resilience to climate-based natural disasters. Our cooperation includes working with the Caribbean to support increased access to financing to build climate resilience, and encouraging the role of the private sector in every aspect of this work. Of course, security cooperation also remains a shared priority for the United States and the Caribbean nations. As Dr. Nelson stated, we often refer to the Caribbean as our third border. And in that sense, since 2010, the United States has worked with our partners in the Caribbean through the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative, or CBSI, to reduce illicit trafficking, increase citizen security, and address the root causes of crime and violence in the region. We've committed to date more than $900 million in programming, including equipment, training, and technical assistance since launching CBSI. These programs are designed to address shared U.S. Caribbean security priorities, including illicit firearms trafficking, border and port security, maritime law enforcement, countering transnational organized crime, and preventing youth crime and violence. And of course, we enjoy close cooperation with the Caribbean community on the multidimensional crisis in Haiti. The United States is committed to the safety, security, and prosperity of Haiti and its people. The security situation in Haiti remains absolutely untenable due to the brutal gang violence that is inflicted upon the Haitian people each and every day. The United States remains the largest bilateral donor in Haiti, and we're actively engaged through the provision of humanitarian, development, and security assistance through agencies such as USAID, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, and the Department of State's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, which is playing an instrumental role in strengthening the capacity of the Haitian National Police. The expeditious deployment of the multinational security support mission remains a top priority for the Biden-Harris administration and is absolutely vital to assisting the Haitian National Police to stabilize security conditions and help build a space conducive to restoring democratic order through free and fair elections. We have aligned the MSS mission with our 10-year plan for Haiti under the U.S. strategy to prevent conflict and promote stability, which was informed by deep consultation and continues to be informed by deep consultation with a wide range of Haitian stakeholders. By aligning the MSS with the first phase of the 10-year plan, we aim to support a holistic, long-term approach to U.S. engagement in Haiti that will set this multinational effort apart from previous ones, and learn from lessons in this space and increase its chances of producing and sustaining ability. Of course, we welcome the Haitian-led and inclusive governance structure of the new Transitional Presidential Council and congratulate them on the appointment of the new interim Prime Minister, Gary Conille. At the same time, we continue to urge Haitian stakeholders towards progress urgently in forming a credible, transparent, and inclusive government that serves its citizens, and of course, putting together a provisional electoral council that will pave the way for a return to democratic order in that country. The United States is committed to working with our Caribbean partners on each of these issues and more, while sustaining our close-knit relationship. As Secretary Blinken has said, the ties between the US and the Caribbean are lasting, diverse, and deep. We are not just partners, but friends. As we commemorate Caribbean American Heritage Month, let us take the time to celebrate the depth of the US-Caribbean relationship, recognize the interconnectedness of the people of the US and the Caribbean, and look forward to further strengthening US-Caribbean bonds of friendship and cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. A friend indeed. We now begin a new section by our Caribbean Odyssey poem. Drum nation, sun people, beat the drums, the talking drums that speak of power. Pocomania drums that speak of hope. Kumina drums that speak of peace. Shanga drums that speak of unity. Voodoo drums that speak reincarnation. Esther Lewis, what are your drums?
Drum nation, sun people, we come. Children of these islands, jewels of the Caribbean Sea. Children of a history wrought by 3 ships, ships who lost their way. Children of a history bought in blood, blood of Arawak maidens, Carib warriors, African kings and queens. Children of a history written in gold, golden sugar, molten black oil. Children of a history that out of many made us one. Children of newly born nations struggling to be free. Those are my drums.
Now, Jason Martin will introduce our next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Jason Martin. I'm an international management consultant and chairman of MCCG, a professional services firm with operations in the US, the Caribbean, Africa, and India. I'm a proud American and Guyanese. Please let me add to the welcome to Caribbean Heritage Month. Allow me, as a longtime advisor and incoming board chair of ICS, to introduce Ambassador Sam Hines on behalf of Guyana, on behalf of ICS and its venerable founder and CEO, Dr. Claire Nelson. His Excellency Samuel Archibald Hines, OE, is the ambassador from the Cooperative Republic of Guyana to the United States of America and its permanent representative to the Organization of American States, the OAS. He's also the current chairman of the Caribbean Group at the OAS, a holder of the Order of Excellence, Guyana's highest national honor, and he served as the country's 5th president in 1999. In addition, as prime minister for most of the years between 1992 and 2014. Engineer by training and profession, he's a graduate of the University of New Brunswick in Canada after attending the now 180-year-old Queen's College High School in Guyana. In 2023, he was recognized by the University of New Brunswick with its Distinguished Engineering Alumni Award, as awarded an honorary doctorate by the university in 1994. His professional career also includes serving as the head of chemical engineering for the bauxite companies of Alcan and Guy Mine in Linden, Guyana. Ambassador Hines, a member of the ruling People's Progressive Party in Guyana, is distinguished by his record of impartial public service, objectivity, and fairness in his communication and execution of his duties as a government official and diplomat. He's always prompt in return of your calls and requests for assistance by both Guyanese and others interested in the welfare and investment in business in Guyana. On a personal note, He and his wife are friends of my sister, Cheryl Miles, who served as ambassador to Venezuela and Brazil. And he's been a mentor to many colleagues, friends, and professionals in and out of Guyana. Welcome, Ambassador Hines.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jason. Dr. Nelson, founder and president of the ICS, Ambassador Barbara Feinstein, Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for the Western Hemisphere, members of the ICS Advisory Board, Board of Directors and Program Board, special invitees, ladies and gentlemen. A good afternoon to all of you. I'm indeed honored and privileged to have this opportunity to bring words of greetings, commendations, and congratulations to the Institute of Caribbean Studies on this 19th year of celebration of Caribbean Heritage Month. I'm deeply aware of the debt of gratitude that is owed to Dr. Claire Nelson and the ICS for the advocacy which contributed to the official recognition of the contributions made by Caribbean people and people of Caribbean descent to the development of the United States of America. Fittingly, this year's theme, Celebrating Caribbean Contributions to American History, Life, and Culture, focuses on just that. The USA has long been for Caribbean peoples a land with little or none of the sense of class which they perceived to pervade their various mother countries in Europe. And with the coming of independence, emigration flows shifted strongly to North America. In the case of my country, Guyana, with a population of 800,000, it is estimated that some 400,000 Guyanese are now living in the USA and Canada. And I can mention that the founder of politics in Guyana, Dr. Chetty Jagan, coming to the USA to Howard in 1936 as an 18-year-old and staying on here for the next 7 years of his life, was greatly impressed with the USA and sought to establish in Guyana much of what he found revolutionary in the USA. And I can name particularly the laws giving workers the right to form a union and other labor-related laws. North America has been good for our Caribbean people, and our Caribbean people have been good for North America. Caribbean people have been making good of educational and other opportunities to pursue higher levels of status and representation. We are increasingly witnessing Caribbean leadership and contributions in various fields in the USA, including the highest levels of the public and private sectors. This work exemplifies Caribbean dynamism, vibrancy, and resourcefulness. The people of the Caribbean have not only been receiving, but have been contributing to the people of the USA. And mention has been made of tourism, an important double blessing, a blessing for the tourists who go there and find opportunity for much relaxation, and for the people in the region, taking account of the jobs created, and there is also the goodwill between our peoples. The impact of the Caribbean peoples is seen in daily life here, and on the other hand, living here provides opportunities to expand and exchange knowledge and technical know-how with home communities and countries. It also represents one of the key links in the further development of relations between Caribbean countries and the USA. And I should mention here too, the remittances, which have been significant in all of our Caribbean countries, and particularly so in Guyana. The efforts of the ICS are admirable and must be commended as we promote Caribbean culture, pay homage to the trailblazers who have gone before us and opened pathways, and to those who currently stand before us, shaping the present and future, and contributing to the USA and the Caribbean. I thank you. What happened there? What happened there?
Battles waged and fought through victory and pain. By test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes and lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voice and high, sing of your courage, your pride. It knows the heart is warm. Now break in song as we
And so, Drum Nations, Sun People, Megan Sylvester, Dr. Megan Sylvester, what drum are you beating?
Drum Nations, children of the sun. We come with our hands at work, cut cane in Florida, pick tobacco in Virginia, clean up waste in Indiana. We come with hands that create artists, engineers, teachers. We come with hands that help and heal, nurses, caregivers, doctors. Our fathers pick apples in your fields. Our mothers build cars in your factories. Our daughters wipe noses in your homes. Our sons die in your armies. We come in search of the American dream, in search of roads paved with gold in Brooklyn, Boston, Chicago, Houston, Washington, Miami. We come full of hope. Those are my drums.
And so now we are going to be joined by Jackie Watson of Georgia, who will be introducing Miss Sandra Vincent, Honorable Sandra Vincent. Okay. I think there is a glitch with the joining process. So I'm going to ask Honorable Sandra Vincent. She's the mayor of McDonough. If she could turn on her video. Oh, there we go. Honorable Sandra Vincent is the mayor of McDonough. I had the pleasure of meeting her in one of my visits. And so the floor is yours, madam. Please unmute.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Nelson, ICS, and the other distinguished participants on this program today, I salute you all. I'm honored to be with you to celebrate Caribbean American Heritage Month and to bring greetings on behalf of our magnificent city. As the mayor of the city of McDonough, I have the esteemed honor of being of Caribbean heritage. Understanding my own ancestry, I recognize that opportunities in America were not always given to people of Caribbean descent. In the 1950s, my father was a banker in the Commonwealth of Nassau, Bahamas. He moved to America in the 1960s, bringing with him a banker's background and the impressive ability to fluently speak 7 different languages. He came to America to expand his personal resolve for growth and progress. But upon arriving on these shores, he was met with systems that did not recognize him as the man and equal to those who were already here. Instead of climbing the proverbial corporate ladder, he was forced to work as a citrus grove worker in Florida. Things have changed. As a first-generation born American, I am proud and honored to have matriculated to the role of mayor. Once unattainable opportunities are now within reach. And while we celebrate my accomplishments and those of so many, many others, we must not forget that to actualize a dream, it must become a vision. And visions must be written and approached collectively and with intentionality. One accord must be the mantra in achieving the manifestation of any vision. This is our charge today. As we remember Caribbean American Heritage Month and the many ways the African diaspora has impacted America, let us hold fast to the collective vision of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which leads to opportunity for all. I am proud of our accomplishments as a city, including hosting the first Caribbean Festival in the Henry County community. I am proud of how we engage the Caribbean community in our comprehensive planning process. I am proud of the many Caribbean American entrepreneurs who have chosen McDonough as the incubator for their dreams and their vision of a more prosperous future. I am proud, but this one thing I know, unless there is unity, progress is just an isolated illusion. For the greatest tool to prosperity is unity, and the greatest hindrance is division. If Caribbean American Heritage Month is to be anything other than an annual blip on the timeline of eternity, we must reaffirm within ourselves and within our community a commitment to collaboration and unity. It is the natural propensity of humans to assemble yet divide. It is the divine propensity of God to unite and excel. Beneath this warm Caribbean sun, where the waves whisper tales of old, lies a rich cultural capacity, vibrant and bold. From islands adorned with emerald green, a heritage emerges, profound and serene. In the rhythm of steel drums and the calypso's sweet refrain, echoes the heartbeat of a people who endured and remain. Through music and dance, stories are told of resilience, joy, and spirits bold. Caribbean colors paint the American dream in hues of creativity flowing like a stream. From reggae's soulful notes to the vibrant beats of soca, we've crafted melodies that make our hearts soar and minds wonder. In art, we've etched our mark with strokes of genius and flair. With brush and chisel, we've transformed the air. Our poets and writers weave words into gold, narratives of courage, struggles, and dreams untold. Educationally, we've sown seeds in fertile ground. With wisdom and knowledge, our presence is so very profound. From classrooms to boardrooms, our intellects shine bright, illuminating paths with the Caribbean guiding light. As artists and scholars, we've shaped the nation's course, drawing from our well of rich cultural source. Our impact is deep, our contributions vast. In America's mosaic, our legacy will forever last. I salute you, my sisters and brothers. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now ask Natalie Snyder from the Mayor's Office of Caribbean Affairs to join us. You are live.
Thank you, I'm here.
You are live.
We come by banana boat to build a Harlem Renaissance. We come in iron birds to find solutions to hungry bang belly picnics and lack of opportunity. We come to create Garvey-esque images of a better life for our people. We come to build roads of opportunity, paths of understanding, bridges over troubled water. We come arms outstretched, not as beggars, but as partners in a collective search for equality and justice for all. We come steeped in hope.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now I will ask Francis Joseph from Tampa to introduce Commissioner Hazel Rogers.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce us this afternoon, the Honorable Ms. Hazel Rogers, hailing from Lauderhill in Florida. And give me 1 second. And just a quick background on Ms. Rogers. Ms. Rogers is a proud Democrat, former state representative, mayor of Lauderhill Lakes, and now county commissioner. Ms. Rogers has spent over 32 years of her life in public service. Ms. Rogers was engaged in her community in Lauderhill Lakes as a secretary of East Lake Homeowners Association and worked with People's Insurance and Hispanic Unity to assist residents in completing their citizenship applications. She was a strong advocate for the regional park in District 9, located in the city of Lauderhill. She began her public career in 1996 when she was elected to office in Lauderhill Lakes, where she served 12 years, making the first person from the English-speaking Caribbean American community elected to office in the southeastern United States. She was the only woman on her 7-member commission. She was appointed as president of Broward League of Cities in 2004, representing the 31 municipalities in Broward County. Please welcome Ms. Hazel Rogers.
I'm asking Honorable Hazel Rogers if you could start your video, please. All right, here you go. Unmute, please. Unmute. Unmute, please. Unmute, please.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Caribbean American Heritage Month to everyone on this line. I am truly honored, feel so privileged to be in this space this afternoon and to say I listened to the opening, Dr. Claire. As always, you're truly the voice of the Caribbean, and you always recognize that you cannot do it alone. And so to your team, I say thank you for holding her up. Thank you for letting her stand on your shoulders, because we have stood on the shoulders of so many over these many years, starting with the bold Dr. Shirley Chisholm. I consider her being bold to think that she could come to this country and run for office, and the highest office in the United States, right? So I say to everyone who is elected on this line, you went through your journey. You have many firsts that you can share. I can share mine, and it would take, I've been in office for 28 consecutive years. So the journey has not been easy, but I have some people that I know was there holding me up. And because of that, I was able to do some things that have been historic and sustainable. I heard mention of a cricket stadium here in Florida. Yes, we advocated for that. When we recognize the diversity of our communities, then we have to put our voices to taxation, and no representation cannot work. So we have to say to them, okay, we love soccer, but there's another game that we love also, and it is the world game, and that is cricket. And yes, the women play netball, so we need some netball courts here. We are taxpayers and we have children and we want to share with our kids. So this year, the United States is hosting T20 World Cricket Match. And of course, Broward County, my county, and our cricket stadium is one of the venues that will be facilitating those games. Yes, we hosted as women the World Junior Netball Tournament here. And we know we put in the time to make sure that our culture stands strong. Sports and cultural tourism is equally important to honor every other economic engine throughout your cities. So I would encourage you to continue to be bold in what we need and be bold in what we ask for and be supportive of. But one thing I've been watching amongst all of us that we don't do, our kids tell us when they want to come and when they want to go. We need to take them everywhere that we are going when possible, so they can learn and see it for themselves. We have to. They're not volunteering like we did. If you look at most organizations, we're challenged to have leadership, people that will take over from us. Okay, so we have to make sure it's not just about us, it's about all of us and our future generations. So I hear the ambassadors and the consul generals and everyone on this line, we are equally valued and we have a job that we must do. And I just want to add my take to this. We are from the Caribbean, but we're in America. And when America sneezes, everyone else catches a cold. So we are here being the eyes, ears, and voices of the Caribbean. But we must remember we are in America and our voices can help the Caribbean region. We just have to know when to come together. We have to know when to identify issues that's regional, and together we can make a difference, and we will make a difference when we know what it is that we would like to have happen. We continue to think about Haiti and ask for funding, whatever it takes. We have to help because it's what we do and we should do. We need to continue to advocate for the freedom and the legacy that we know that is in the Honorable Marcus Garvey. we are trying to have his name exonerated. And sometimes you wonder why he did nothing wrong. So why do you need that? But we have to do something as a Caribbean group, not as a Jamaican, because he touched the world. He was not just a Jamaican. He was international. We could say even global. So I thank you for listening to me and continue this awesome celebration. Yes, in Florida, even when we're not in session, we make sure that we recognize Caribbean American Heritage Month in Tallahassee. Locally, cities, we do acknowledge that also. Yes, Dr. Claire, I guess I've
Thank you. Your time, we have to get someone before they have to go back to vote as well.
okay, I do
Thank you.
understand, and thank you. See you soon on Sunday
you.
morning, of course.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much. We have waiting to come up. We have the Honorable Aisha Brave Boy. I know she used to run off, so thank you so much for joining us from the court or wherever it is that you have to get to. Aisha Brave Boy is the Attorney General for the County of Prince George's County. She's from Grenada and a long-standing public servant, and I thank her for joining us from my home state of Maryland.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nelson. It's just an honor to be here with my fellow Caribbeans and those who are supporting us during this amazing month where we celebrate our heritage, but really our future. And I am so grateful to have been elected to be the top law enforcement officer in a county of nearly 1 million people. And when I think that my father immigrated here from Grenada, a country that has about maybe 125,000 people, to know that his daughter, my father, and I look at it through his eyes, that his daughter has been elected by nearly 1 million people, or to represent nearly 1 million people here in Prince George's County. I know that does his heart good. And it's not enough for me to be elected, but it really is about making sure that I am advancing other Caribbeans as well. I might be the first, but I should not be the last. And I hope that all of us feel that way. But there are people who are not going to necessarily run for office, but who can benefit from our service. And so as we think about how we serve, ensuring that our Caribbean community is at the forefront, and that we are also connecting ourselves back to our homelands and helping our people, whether they're here or abroad or in our homelands, understand how our service can impact them positively as well. So I know that I'm working on a lot of issues around juvenile crime and juvenile justice and keeping our kids in school. And I know that's something that is not unique to America. I know that in the Caribbean and other places, they're dealing with those issues. So being able to collaborate across the globe with our fellow Caribbeans, I think we can make a big difference. So thank you again, Dr. Nelson, for your vision, for having this. Tomorrow we are celebrating Caribbean Heritage Day. So we have a festival in Maryland. So if you are in the DMV area, we have a festival going down at Bladensburg Waterfront Park tomorrow afternoon. So hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you. So now, Drum Nation, Sun People. Drum Nation, Sun People. Nandi Walcott, our young professional member of Ignite Caribbean team. What drum are you playing?
Drum Nations, Sun People, we come. Today, I'm playing the drum of prosperity and creativity. Drum Nations, Sun People, we come. We come from lands of steel pan, reggae, calypso. We come from lands of light and laughter. We come to toll in cold, dark places to give hope to those left behind. We labor and birth sons and daughters who are warriors, like Belafonte, Padier, Powell, Malcolm X, like Shirley Chisholm, Cicely Tyson, and Kamala Harris. We come as warriors. We stand as survivors. We grow new roots and spread our branches, surviving through the strength of our culture. Drum nations, Sun people, we come.
Welcome to the 2024 Caribbean American Heritage Month Wall of Fame. The Caribbean American Heritage Month flag features undulating white and blue lines representing the Caribbean Sea and the waves of immigration from former colonial Europe. Dutch, French, English, Spanish, and the US, from pre-American Revolution, post-American Revolution, post-slavery, through the present. Our Caribbean American Heritage Month crest sits centered on the golden sun, symbolizing the hope which centers us. Introducing this week's Wall of Fame honorees. Cheryl Lee Ralph, Jamaican actress, singer, and activist. Al Roker, Bahamian journalist and media mogul. Yvette Noel Schur, Grenadian music industry manager. Winston Duke, Trinidadian actor. Rihanna, Barbadian superstar, philanthropist, and fashion mogul. Jean-Paul Clark, Jamaican engineer and aerospace researcher. Yamiche Alcindor, Haitian journalist and political correspondent. Joshua Williams, American footballer and philanthropist, born in St. Kitts. Continue celebrating with us this National Caribbean American Heritage Month by following us on our socials to discover more about this week's Wall of Fame honorees.